Welcome back to Talking Lead. This is episode 35, and I'll see you guys later.
No, you won't. You're not out of here yet, man.
I got like a couple of minutes. I do have a very cool function I get to go to tonight. My daughter is having daddy-daughter dinner at her school. So
Daddy-daughter dinner.
Yep. So I've got to bolt quick
Triple
to do
D.
that. But we're going to have some cool guests. Gabby's going to be on the show again tonight.
Yep.
For Gabby on Guns. And then Nicole McLean will be calling in shortly.
We'll get the full show with her this time.
Yep. And so your guest host will be a very attractive deer hunter lady. I'm sorry for that.
Not mad about that. I'm okay with that. I think we can make that work.
But I wanted to go over my weekend guns because I'm excited. My first dove hunt ever. I've been hunting a lot, but I've never gone dove hunting. I've actually never gone any bird hunting except for like shooting a crow with a BB gun or something out off the back porch.
That doesn't count.
No. Got me a Benelli Nova.
That's a sweet little gun you got there,
pump
buddy.
shotgun.
Like
I'm excited about that, and going dove hunting Sunday. I've got a bunch of gear that I didn't realize I was going to have to get for the dove hunt, like special vest to hold the dove in the back.
Knives and forks and
bacon.
Bacon.
Got some good bird shot.
So you're going to take the camera. You're going to do some video, right?
Yes, sir. I am going to do it. So welcome back, Gabby. How are you doing?
Very good. How are you guys?
Doing wonderful.
Really well.
We've gotten our summer weather back here. It's humid and hot again.
Well, sounds like Miami already. We have all that together with rain.
But you have a beach. So
That's true.
You trump us. So we're gearing up for college football in our area, too. We've got our alma mater is playing tonight, their season opener.
Nice.
I'm going to miss it.
Are you into football at all?
Well, I have to say I'm not too much. I'm still trying to learn the whole concept of the football.
American football, right? Yeah.
It's American football.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of, what I think is very interesting is the strategy, how they put everything together. But, still working on that.
There you go. So you have been on kind of a whirlwind tour since we talked to you last, right? You have been busy. You've been to Washington State?
Yes, I just came back yesterday from Washington State, and I have to say that is a trip. And not only it's exciting for me the fact that I'm traveling, but to me it's just getting to know different perspectives from different people because they're completely different in a way. Different mentality, different economies also.
Mm-hmm. Mindsets are a little different, yeah.
Yes, and even the scenery, it was just beautiful.
And of course, each state has their own laws, and those kind of come into play as well.
Talk about that. Last minute, I'm doing my bag and everything, and I always, when I do my classes, I bring my my dummy pistol. It's an orange pistol, and I have my BB gun because it's easy to demonstrate.
Your BB gun, okay.
Yes, because it's easy to demonstrate without having a real firearm.
Sure.
Okay. I packed that in. And I'm just traveling. So my cousin, who works for the Miami Police Department, he sent me a text. And he said, "You are not bringing any gun, are you?" I'm like, well, I'm not bringing a gun. I'm just bringing a BB gun. And I had a lock on my luggage. Sure enough, when I received my bag, like for hours, it took forever to get my bag, when I was already in Seattle. There was no lock.
They cut it off.
They cut it open, and they were just, checking out the whole bag. I'm like, yeah,
Did they take your gun?
No, they didn't. I'm
surprised.
But Kyle Kyle was there. He was the one who picked me up, and from season 4, and he said that Washington State is a firearm-friendly state in a way.
Sure.
But Seattle is not.
Right.
A firearm-friendly city. So I can just imagine these guys freaking out. There's a gun and it was just a BB gun. So.
But that was through your checked luggage, right?
Yes, exactly. No, come on. I would have brought a BB gun on my
Your carry-on?
No.
You don't want to get on there and go, "I'm Gabby from Top Shot." What do you mean?
Yeah. Well,
how dare you?
You will laugh about this. I think I was coming from SHOT Show or something like that, like last year. And then Chiquan from season 4, he dropped me up at the airport. So I'm walking and he was carrying my laptop case, right? While we were walking to check in, and he took me into the, the security part with TSA. So at that point, he gave me my computer, bag, and I'm walking in. Suddenly they say, please stop. I'm like, all right, maybe, I don't know. I'm thinking, what did I leave in my computer bag? So this woman started checking out, the TSA woman started checking out my bag and everything. And suddenly she just pops out like a 4-inch knife.
Whoa.
And I'm
like a butter knife? What kind of knife was it?
A pocket knife. But a tactical pocket knife. I mean, huge. And I'm like, that's not mine. I've been set off. Somebody put that in my bag.
Those darn contestants on Top Shot, they'll do anything to get an edge, won't they?
And then she looked at me and she said, this is not yours. I'm like, no, it's not mine. And then I thought, oh my God, cheese, because the knife was sticking outside, so the clip got out of his pants.
Oh, goodness.
And got stuck on my bag in the back pocket. So I called him and said, Chi, check your pockets. Are you missing something? And he's like, my knife. I'm like, oh, I had to leave it there.
Yeah, they wouldn't give it back, would they?
No.
Bummer.
But talk about being scared on TSA.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And it was an honest mistake. Could have happened to anybody.
That's crazy. On this show, the most common story we get from a lot of our guests have been TSA stories.
Horror stories.
Yeah. Oh, that was a horror story. And I guess she figured, I mean, my face, can you imagine? The surprise face.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
She was like, oh, all right. She's sincere, because I was like, that's not mine. Somebody set me up right now.
So they didn't give you too big of a hard time about it, huh?
No, they actually didn't. They obviously checked the bag. There was nothing else but that. And it wasn't the outside. It was not even hidden or anything.
It's just flagrant.
Flagrant.
Is that a hypothetical?
Or vagrant.
A hybrid word?
She could have been like, wanting to live at the airport and just brought her knife along with her. Vagrant.
Yeah, right. So it turned out, a happy ending, luckily. But, yeah. So here in Washington, luckily they just opened the bag and that was all. And I had my 2 training pistols for my.
So what kind of BB gun do you have?
I have a Lone Wolf one.
Oh wow!
I didn't know Lone Wolf made one.
I have to talk to Zach about that.
I don't know if they make it anymore, but it's Lone Wolf, the pack and everything.
Cool.
It's pretty good. Has worked pretty good for me.
Now you said, I was going to say, you said something about the having to contact the chief of police when you're there. Now you said that here recently you've been actually doing some training for female police officers. Did I get that right?
Yes, I actually did. My first one was here in Miami. And when I told Kyle Sumter, he's the commander in the police department, and I told him I was going to be there, he said, Gabby, why don't you come and give a training for the ladies? Because they don't feel motivated to train and this and that. I'm like, sure, I'll do that. So he put me 10 women. Yes, and I'm very... when I give my classes, I'm very friendly, as you can see, and all that.
No doubt, yeah.
But when it comes to training, man, I could be very rough because I was trained by my coach who was from the Soviet Union.
Strict.
Okay. Yeah, he was very strict.
Yeah, rigid.
And so.
So do you turn into that kind of person when you start doing your training?
What is it?
Is that the kind of personality that you switch to during your training?
Yes, and it's because, when you're coaching someone, you really have to be firm on what you want to achieve, and push them so they can achieve that goal. If you let them be what they want to be, like, oh, I feel comfortable doing this, or, well, I don't like to shoot like this. If you're not firm and you don't believe on your technique as a coach, that person will not achieve what you want to achieve. So I'm very strict when it comes to the classes. So Interesting. I'm doing a training, which I keep them hold the gun for like almost 2 minutes, and then they have to fire, and it have to be a perfect shot, and that repetitively. So they are getting tired. Their muscles are getting shaky and all that. So one of them started being like, "Oh, come on, girls, let's do this!" and he's cheering up everyone. And then Kyle told me that she hates to shoot.
Really?
I could not believe it.
So you motivated her.
Exactly. I was like, are you sure he doesn't like to shoot? Because she was the one cheering the other girls, and what I bring to the table to the ladies is a non-aggressive training, but yet knowledgeable, friendly.
And you bring it from a female perspective too, where probably what they've gotten to that point is a male instructor.
Yes, and there's so much, even if they have a great trainer, because Kyle Sumter is a great shooter and he's a great trainer.
Yes,
and let me tell you something, it takes a good coach and humble coach, especially in the law enforcement, to call me, a woman, to say, hey, come and help me with the ladies, just to motivate them to so they can come and practice. At the end, that's their part of their life. They protect their life with a firearm, and also, other people's life. So it was funny in a way, because I was talking to them about the equipment. I'm not a cop, but I do know what is effective for me to do a quick mat change and all that stuff. So
basic techniques, yeah.
Yeah, so these ladies have sort of a weird type of mag pouches that were taking forever. So I'm giving suggestions of which mag pouch you should use and this and that. And they end up, all of them change their equipment. They twist everything because they have flap and they put them backwards. And so Kyle looked at me and he said, I have been trying to do this forever. They don't listen to the men. But it's just that. It's kind of like a trust, They don't feel intimidated. They look at me like a friend. And like you said, like a woman perspective. So I really enjoy that.
Now, was that your first female police training?
That was the second one.
That was the second one, okay.
Yeah, I actually posted today, a testimonial for one of them on my Facebook fan page. Later you can read it. It was pretty cool. It was very nice. I really like to, cool. I always tell people, give me your feedback, because in that way I know what I'm doing right to keep doing it, or if I need to change something, I can do it. If it's all great, it gives me more motivation to, being that positive instructor and improve myself, so I can, bring that to the table every time I teach.
Feedback is key in order for you to know what's effective and what's not effective.
It is.
So you can hone your training skills.
Exactly. And like Kyle was telling me, Gabby, before I did this training, he asked me, what is the most fun part of your training? And I looked at him and I said, well, fun for them. Because for me as a coach, I'm just concentrating so much in that everybody follows the rules, everybody is safe, that trying to find the way that they should better, finding their mistakes so I can correct them. So it is there. I get tired at the end, but my satisfaction is reading those reviews, definitely.
Exactly. But that whole thing is fun for you anyway. It's just something you enjoy doing. So even though you're working hard and it's exhausting, but it's fun for you.
It is. And like I said, my best reward is seeing at the end, the results. And that's why my classes are not super big.
And then having somebody like Kyle, first class instructor come to you and say, hey, you've gotten through to these ladies where I couldn't get through. That says a lot.
Exactly. And not because he's not a good coach or whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, and I didn't mean that at all.
Like the officers here that in Miami, actually Coral Spring police department, I would say they are blessed to have that type of coach. That they say, okay, they were pretty good shooters, but they needed it perhaps to see a woman like me You know, that I'm not a big woman and I don't I don't make excuses.
Exactly.
You know,
you just get it done. Yeah.
Because you can have a good coach as a man, but you can say, as a woman, you might say, oh, but you know, you're a man, that's why you do it. But when they
use that as a crutch, as an excuse, and then they see you doing it, then all that goes out the window. They've got no excuses. There's no crutch there.
Exactly.
Do it, ladies.
That was Kyle's goal. He said, I want them to see you, how petite you are. And the first thing that Kyle said, it was funny. He said, he puts his hand, you know, in front of mine. He said, look at her hand. And obviously
the size difference, yeah.
Yes, the size difference. And he was saying, there's no excuse here. So it's pretty much that's the goal. You know, having Kyle says, Kylie, come here, keep motivating these girls so they can see that anyone, you know, it's possible to shoot good, it's possible to train, and you need to train, especially for them.
So now is this going to be something that you're going to implement in your tours? On your tours? Yeah.
I already talked to, I'm going to possibly go to California. I don't know the city yet, but in California in November, and already trying to make contacts so I can reach more female officers. You know, besides who they are, let's put the officer, the badge aside. It could be a security guard. Okay, it's just the fact that their life rely on that firearm. I'm a civilian. I conceal carry I would say 90% of the time. All right, and I practice. But yet, I don't go to the bad neighborhoods every day. I know where they are, and I just avoid them.
Part of responsible gun carry is being mentally responsible and conscious of your actions as well. And that, what you're saying is, don't hang out at bad places where bad things happen, and you're going to eliminate 99% of the time that you would need to use your firearm.
Exactly. But unfortunately, a police officer, that's his job, and he might have, or she might have to confront certain situations where, you know, and I was talking to a few officers, and they were telling me, not necessarily because they're a police officer means that they're shooters. You know, some officers just see the gun as a tool. I have to have it because it's my job. And definitely that's something that I think, you know, ammunition expensive, but doing dry fire or practicing, you have a level 3 holster. Practice at home before you put the gun up on you. You know, make sure the gun is unloaded, obviously, and practice 3-5 times. If you do that every day, it's much better than nothing.
Muscle memory, right?
Yes, it's like we always say. So I think it is an important lesson. It's an important reminder, because I'm not saying that they don't know it. And happen with the shooters too, that we take a lot of things for granted. So this is something that they must, you know, keep themselves on top of it.
Right. So that's something we talked about on the last show. We got into a little bit. And I know Zeke and I are on this too. We were talking about our muscles, you know, and working out and being in good health and, you know, proper mental health as well. I mean, working out just helps you overall, your whole body, your mentally, your physically, you know, everything like that. So what have you know, you were talking a little bit about your routine. Have you started any new routines, workout routines?
No, actually, I just, you know, make sure that every day I run at least 3 miles every day. At least, I wouldn't say every day, but every other day, but every week I run. I do try to do, you know, push-ups, because it's just having that upper body strength.
Getting your calisthenics in.
Exactly. And not necessarily being super, super strong, because I actually was reading an article. I don't remember who wrote it, but he was talking about upper body strength. You know, that it was super, super mandatory, necessary, and blah, 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 blah. But he was saying it in a way that you have to be super muscle.
Yeah, like you got to be a bodybuilder kind of, you know, bench press 900 pounds. But that's not the case.
the way he said it sounded like that. And I was thinking, well, if his theory were right, I wouldn't be able to shoot. Because
that's true.
I'm pretty much a fit woman, but I'm not stronger than you or any other man. So it's relative. It's not about having that.
Yeah. And we're not talking about, like you were insinuating that this guy was talking about as being, bodybuilder type strong. It's just keeping your muscles toned and your reflexes and, everything honed and toned.
Yes. Exactly. And that also gives you the confidence for your mindset, okay? You can say, in your mindset, I'm going to run from this area to this area in competition per se in certain amount of seconds, when you realistically know that physically you can't do it.
Right.
So, everything has to be in sync. Your body and your mind, in that way, when you are you are physically fit, you can play with your mind and push yourself because it's realistic. It's realistic. You say, okay, I can do it. So that's one of the more important things. Yes, and something I really like to talk to my students about their mindset. And it's something I always say that, for instance, negative thoughts and positive thoughts, negative and positive, to me are useless, even positive thoughts.
Why is that?
Exactly. Negative thought normally will be a shooter that would say, I don't like to shoot that 15 yards because I always miss. That's obviously negative, right?
Exactly. If you think you're going to miss, then you're going to miss.
Definitely. Then you have the positive thought and you say, this time I'm going to hit a 15 yards my target, right? But then your brain says, all right, we're going to hit it. Maybe we're going to hit it. How we're going to hit it? Your brain doesn't process it that way, you see. So the effective thought would be, okay, and because it's a long shot, I need to slow down, concentrate on my front side, squeeze the trigger. So that's something that most people don't understand how their brain works. You will think that positive thought is good. It's not. It's useless.
But it's better than a negative thought, though.
Definitely.
Okay.
But it won't help you the way you think it will.
If you don't have the skills to carry out that positive thought.
The effective thought is when you think on what you need to do.
How to accomplish it.
Exactly. Like I said, I can say, I'm going to hit 100 yards.
Yeah, but how am I going to do that?
How am I going to do that? Exactly. Right. Your brain, it says, okay, let's do it. But I don't know how.
Yeah, your brain's up for it. So, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
How do we do that?
That's when your effective thoughts come in place.
That's a good point.
Yes, that's something I'll, in the future, when I write my next book about mindset and how everything works in your brain to make.
So how's your book doing? Your first edition, right?
Yes,
that's volume 1.
Volume 1. Very good. The feedback has been tremendous, which I value a lot. Same thing. The feedback for me is very important, and people really value the work that I put into it, and they are learning. To me, that's more than anything. They say, Gabby, I'm practicing. I'm getting better because I'm following what you say. I keep it on my range back. You see, to me, that's more than anything. Yeah. And right now, brown nails. They just got a few, the first set. So I haven't checked the link yet. I have to check it out. But
so they can go to Brownells and order your book?
Yes, they can. People can go to brownells.com and check that book. And I'm also building into some other projects. Maybe I'm thinking perhaps, I don't know, maybe getting a company like firearm manufacturer to have my book included in their gun sales.
Yeah.
I think
that's a great idea.
At least getting with the firearm, the right way on how to shoot it, the safety rules, something to relate to.
You got anybody in the works yet?
No. Something I'm thinking about. I wouldn't say thinking about, something I'm already working on.
Right.
So we'll see. I'm always I'm a visionary.
You're positively thinking about it. Now you're just figuring out how to make it happen, right?
Well, I always try to make things happen one way or another. Today, I was listening. I don't know who they were talking about the regular people, normal people, how people can achieve things. That, oh no, just because a huge company is because it's big and that's why they are successful. Most people don't understand that majority of those companies were so little, and because they pushed and pushed and pushed hard and they dream big, that's how they achieve
perseverance.
Yeah, like I guess people will think, oh, well, you're successful because you won in Top Shot. Say yes, but you don't know
what it took for you to get there. Yeah, and while you were there, yeah, exactly.
The things that have to resign, pretty much. I mean,
it's just another excuse that people use not to, or to justify their failures. It's like, I don't have this, I don't have that. The bottom line is, what they don't have is they don't have the mental perseverance to push through something like that, to be successful.
And that mentality, I think, applies the same in shooting. That's why I tell my students.
Every aspect of life, yes.
Yes. I tell them, listen, I'm not here to make you the best person in the world. If I can, that will be great. But you can expect having a different mentality in shooting if the rest of your life you keep thinking in failure. So, for instance, shooters that they say, oh, I don't care about shooting good. I just need to shoot at my target, so I know that I'm on my target, even though it's at 5 yards and all the shots are all over the place. It's just an excuse of getting to learn proper technique.
People love excuses.
Yes, and when I hear that, and especially. Some people say, oh, I don't need to shoot precise. I just need to make sure I hit my target. That's good enough. I'm like, well,
Yeah, as long as your target's not shooting back, then that's fine.
And not only that, if in normal, you're just quiet, nobody's bothering you, there's no rush, nobody, like you said, nobody's shooting at you. And yet you're not able to shoot good. What do you expect to do? Shooting fast with all that, everything going on,
Exactly. So you're telling us, we're talking a little bit off air, you've got another little project that you've been working on with maybe some of your friends. Is that what it was? That you're doing an AR-15 build?
Well, I actually...
Or is that for yourself?
That's for me.
Okay.
Yes, I have my AR-15, my black-green ordnance AR-15, but I have an upper and a lower receiver stripped. And I was checking it out. I was checking my gun safe. I check my gun safe regularly. Oh, yeah. Check my...
In case something shows up, you weren't expecting. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. And then I was like, man, I have this upper and lower. I might as well build an AR-15. So I'm, kind of searching around because it's going to be a project I've never, ever done in my entire life. So it's going to be a project I might be calling you, hey, what do I need for my... what do you suggest?
That's going to be fun, yeah.
That'll be a fun little thing to do on the segment in future episodes.
Yeah, we could do an update on your AR-15 build. So now you've got the upper and the lower. What brand?
It's a stock arm.
Upper and lower?
Upper and lower, yes.
Okay.
So I'm very, excited to build something nice.
Are you wanting to go 5.56, or are you going to build a 300, or what are you thinking? What caliber?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the 5.56 still. I don't want to go any other because these days the ammo is so expensive that if I go with another type of ammunition, like 6.8 or something like that, it's going to be like too much, Yeah. But with the 5.56, I think I have my regular 16-inch, so I might build something a little bit more for...
Maybe go 18?
Yes, maybe something like that.
Would it be for competition, or would it be just for your kind of recreation?
I'll do it for recreation.
Okay.
So, but yet I don't want it to be a long barrel, and I don't want it to be too short. So maybe
we'll add that to our project list to keep up with you on.
Yes, that'll be exciting.
That's going to be fun. Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna start maybe next week. I'm gonna start checking and ordering some parts and maybe knocking some doors and see.
Awesome.
You never know.
Well, thank you so much for calling in again, Abby. Abby? I just called her Abby? What the? The G didn't work.
That's silent G.
You now have a silent G in your name.
Gabby, as always, we really appreciate you calling in and spending time with us on the show.
No, thank you guys for having me. I really enjoy it. And, and before we go, I just want to remind you that I have in my next classes, I'm going to be in Texas. It's going to be in Brazoria, Texas, which is near Houston, very near Houston.
Okay.
So check my website.
Yeah, just right outside of Houston.
Yes.
And this will be one of your female training classes, right?
Yes. Female, and it's going to be, the Sunday is going to be mixed too. So guys are allowed.
Nice.
And it's going to be on the 21st and 22nd of September next month. And you can go to my website, www.gabbyfranco.com. So, they can check more information about it.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Perfect. Bye.
I really do have to bolt, and I'm going to leave it in your hands. Okay. If the show stinks, it's left hand's fault. No, I'm just kidding. He'll do good.
Maybe, maybe not.
See you guys later.
And we're back. Happy travels to Zeke. Hope he has a good dinner there with his daughter. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Our bandwidth sponsor, the Firearms Radio Network, ICE Training. And in case you guys don't know what ICE stands for, it stands for integrity, consistency, and efficiency. So check those guys out at icetraining.us. That's icetraining.us. Training services, defensive shooting, instruction, self-defense, books, videos, apparel. Also like to thank US Elite Gear. That's us-elitegear.com. Operate, accelerate, and achieve. We also like to thank our good friends at All or Nothing Tattoo. That's allornothingtattoo.com, and their apparel store at Stranglehold Merch, and that's strangleholdmerch.com. And let's not forget HG Press, Holder and Green Professional Real Estate Services. HG Press, 1-800-615-1840, extension 2222. For all your Middle Tennessee real estate needs, give those guys a call. So thanks to all our sponsors. Also like to give a quick thanks to our friends over at Ergo Grips for providing us with 1911 grips and a couple of AR accessories that we're testing out. Our buddies at Next Level Training and the CERT pistol. Zeke and I are really giving that thing a run through, getting some great training and some good technique practice, not to mention implementing that into our exercise routine. And speaking of fitness, we have a surprise call-in, Carol Salva from the Fat to Fit program.
That's right, Fat
to
Fit. Hi, how are you doing, Left Hand?
Doing wonderful. So this is kind of it's going to be a surprise for Zeke. He's not going to be expecting this.
See, Left Hand, you think I'm calling in to surprise Zeke, but I'm really calling to talk to you.
Oh, so you pulled a double whammy on me?
Y'all are so ripe for this stuff. Y'all fall for anything.
We're suckers.
You are. I need to make a bet with you.
I don't do bets.
Okay, you have to do this one. You have to do this one because you called me out on something.
What have I called you out on?
You tried to tell me that the body needs carbohydrates.
Carbohydrates are not bad for the body.
No. And I'm not saying they are, and in moderation, and if you get them from natural sources like things you can pick up in nature, fruits and vegetables that have a ton of carbs, that I don't think is a bad.
So flour's not natural?
No, there's no.
Flour's not a natural substance?
Once they strip it of everything, and even whole grain, and once they produce it, it's per calorie, the nutritional value of that does not outweigh the amount of sugar and glucose and the havoc that wreaks. Is it reeks or wrecks? The havoc it wrecks. Okay, go ahead.
It causes. The havoc that it causes.
Thank you. Edit that. Go ahead. Just kidding.
So, but you know what outweighs that?
I don't want to.
My taste buds.
I know.
So preach and get on your soapbox all you want. I'm going to eat my tortilla shells, girl.
Hey, now listen. I am the first one that is caught at the grocery store at the sample counter at the bread. I'm right there. I'm right there with you.
But here's the thing. I don't really like bread.
Well,
I don't like eating bread per se.
What's all that Taco Bell you keep sending me photos of?
Well, that's not bread, really.
But it's a grain. Those tortillas are...
Yeah. I'd much rather eat that than a loaf of bread or something like that.
Yeah, but it's still, I guess my point is, and here's the thing too, for your listeners and for Zeke, I did call to give Zeke a hard time.
You better.
We are not,
get off my back.
Well, no. I mean, somebody needs to get on my back too. Like I said, I'm not where I want to be. Our whole show is just learning and trying to bring on experts.
But you got to understand, I'm not trying to lose weight either.
Nobody's telling you are. Yeah. You're telling me I'm wrong.
I want to gain weight.
Again,
I'm telling you that carbohydrates are not a bad thing.
They are not a bad thing. My whole point was that you do not need them. Your body will function just fine on fat and protein. You do, and it can turn that stuff into glucose.
But it all depends on what somebody's goals are and what they're trying to achieve.
Course.
Okay.
Of course.
So you've got to keep that in mind also.
Hey, left hand.
Hey, girl.
A lot of people tuning into a show called Fat to Fit. We all have the same goals over there.
And I told you from day one, I wasn't a good fit for your show.
You're an awesome fit. You're an awesome fit. You really are, because you're real life. You're a person, and I don't care what you say. You eat just fine.
But listen, I do. But I like to have my snacks too.
We all do.
But I am all on board for, proper eating, physical fitness, things like that. And I know that everybody's physiology is different, and everybody can't just go out and eat anything they want.
That's true.
Some people can, but some people can't.
You take all the fun out of it when we're not extreme in our views is the only thing.
I'm just not extreme.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
But I did start back to the gym. Okay.
Awesome.
I renewed my membership for a 3-year deal, so I'm in it to win it. And
yes.
Me and Pepper are on board, and we've been going every day for the past week, and we've been putting in at least an hour each time we go.
Good night.
And that's just us getting warmed up. Once we start getting into it, we'll be doing 2 hours, 3 hours in the gym.
Is Pepper going to do the Tough Mudder with us?
I'm talking her into it.
Awesome.
I showed her what it was yesterday, and she's like, I don't know about that.
Oh, come on, give her my number.
Actually, I saw it and looked at it real closely this time, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this or not.
Yeah.
Do you know that they electrocute you?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
I do. We don't talk about that till that morning. So just put that on this. Just put that somewhere else.
Just put that way back in the recess of my mind.
You just show up like you said.
Well, I'm excited about it. I really want to do it. I think it's going to be fun, especially if we get the whole gang involved.
We already have people we got Jared Markle from Student of the Gun. We have Jim Irwin, which I know your listeners know. Jim from US Elite Gear. Mm-hmm. We have Zach just committed.
Did he commit?
Yes, he did.
Good for
Zach.
Awesome,
go listen. But it was a whole listener orchestrated. We sandbagged him in the last 10 minutes of the show.
Kind of blindsided him like you're doing me?
Exactly. That's how you get things done. I mean, seriously. Over at that show, none of us claim to be experts. We really, honestly, even the views that I'm saying, we just had somebody on last week telling me that. We tell everybody to look it up. Everything affects everybody differently. Take nuggets and try things and see what works for you.
But not chicken nuggets.
Good night. Listen. And Zeke's whole thing was he knew if he could get himself, like most people, exercising regularly 5 days a week minimum, he would get past that first hurdle and become a habit.
Yeah.
And then he put himself on MyFitnessPal, and my listeners and Zach's listeners, our listeners, and y'all's listeners, hopefully, they know they can go into and get a free account. They can link to our show notes and see. It's just, it's myfitnesspal.com/ Zeke Stout. And he is obligated to accept your friend request. and then you get to see.
So tell them what the bet is you have with Zeke.
Okay. He bet that he would do 5 workouts a week consistently. And any workout he missed, he would owe me $10. And I like that and everything because who doesn't want money? And I'm going to be rich very soon. But we decided to donate that money to the Firearms Radio Network.
Very cool.
So, yeah. So everybody wins. If Zeke sticks to... Yes. The good thing is he didn't give an end date. So I'm saying this goes through Tough Mudder, which is next spring.
That's why I don't make bets because all these loopholes and, well, you didn't say this and you didn't do that.
Oh, come on. And then if he misses a few, well, everybody loves this network. We get a little money. That's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's a win-win-win. And the great thing is that the listeners are involved.
It's a good-natured bet.
Yes, and it gets more people exposed to MyFitnessPal, which is a way to track your activity or your calories or carbs or whatever you want to track. And Zeke's already found issues with that program. He's really smart about this stuff that you probably don't want to trust it 100% of what it recommends for you to eat and all of that. So we need to have him back on to talk more to our folks. He's already had at least 6 people go in and friend him. And that was what I was going to call and give him a hard time because I would really like him to log his food. He wants to drop some weight, and food is like 80% of the equation. And he's too busy. He's too busy.
Well, that's everybody's excuse.
But thank you.
Everybody's got excuses.
But he is being awesome. We've been doing it about 2 weeks.
Excuses are just obstacles that get in the way of what you really want to accomplish.
Thank you. So anyway, that's all I called in to give him a hard time, but he's not there.
So we got a question from one of our listeners. Charles D wants to know, and I don't know this right off, so you can help us with this. He wants to know what episodes Zeke and I are on the Fat to Fit.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know?
I can. Okay. And they're both called Talking Lead.
So easy to pick out in the list there.
Right. Talking Lead Part 1. Zeke is episode 49.
Okay.
And Left Hand is episode 46.
Very cool.
So, yeah, absolutely. And then the funny thing is, as soon as you guys came on, episode 47, 48, 50, we can't stop talking about y'all.
We just have that effect on people, I guess.
You're just great content, I'm telling you. But it is because everybody is different. You were dead on when you came on and said, look, my metabolism's different than the next guys, and so everybody's got to do different things. No, I totally understand. We're totally kidding, giving you guys a hard time because you obviously I know your history, and I know you were very active before I talked to you the first time. You could just tell. And then Zeke was like, got his degree and worked in this industry for a long time. So,
and he's done a lot of triathlons. He's got a lot of experience under his belt too. So I would listen more to what he has to say than what I have to say.
No, y'all are both shows. Both shows were really funny and really, I feel, educational for people, both shows. So definitely, it's all good because nobody is the same. And even ourselves, we change every 5 years, every 5 minutes if you're a woman, geez. And so, you just gotta keep experimenting. It's all good. I love it.
Yeah. So I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
Oh, no, I got to go.
No. What did you do in firearms this week?
Oh, you're going to be so just shamed that you tried to put me on the spot with that question.
Let me hear you. Make me proud.
I have an order coming to my house for some firearms that I will be getting into. Everybody knows, okay? Anybody that knows who I am knows that I am the one host on the entire network that does not own a firearm.
Right. I've been on you to get your carry permit and to get a carry firearm.
Well, you kind of, and other influences, I'm coming on board because Brad and I, my husband and I, that just wasn't our hobby. We have no problem, and we're big supporters of your rights to have firearms. It just wasn't our thing. Mm-hmm. But we've gotten to a point where we really do want some home protection at that level. We want to have our own firearms for home protection, but we have no idea where to start. Mm-hmm. We're that person that it's intimidating, but we wouldn't mind going all the way to Z and getting proficient.
Sure.
So this is a wonderful question because the Firearms Radio Network, we're starting a new, we're launching something called Carol Gets a Gun.
Okay.
And it's going to be so great. It's going to be like a mini documentary. And we're going to take my family because my oldest son has been hunting once and is very interested. He's been to the range a few times, but he's just 11. And as a parent, I should be aware of, all of this and the safety and everything involved with that.
Of course.
Yes, of course. So what we're doing is we're going to start with our family meeting. We're going to record all of this, and it's probably going to be on Gun Guy Radio. And we have some sponsors that are going to be supporting us in this. But it's just started. Like I said, we're going to start with airsoft and air guns, 2 different kinds.
Okay.
And that takes some of the intimidation factor out of it, although some of those firearms, can do some serious damage. We're starting with...
Airsoft gun you're talking about.
Well, there's air guns. There's 2 different kinds that are coming to me. The kind that, you could shoot your little buddy in the backyard and he wouldn't get hurt. And another kind that you cannot shoot someone else and you need to treat exactly like you would any other firearm.
And and just for our listeners, even the airsofts, you need to treat them just like you would a normal firearm. Even if it's not going to physically hurt someone, you could put somebody's eye out.
Exactly. That's a whole show.
So you guys are going to just kind of get acclimated with the feel and form and use of a firearm through airsoft.
Yeah, definitely. It's and it's less intimidating, but it's still serious, like you said. And then the selection of, what makes sense for our purposes.
Right.
And then what is, just like you were just saying, what is the safest way to go about introducing these things and educating your children, and where should they be kept in the home? And we have a million questions, and as do, I'm sure, a lot of people. And we're hoping that this helps take that intimidation factor out of it.
Now, are you going to have a professional come in and show you guys some techniques and suggestions on the home defense and, how you would go about if you had an intruder clearing the house?
Yeah, we have some sponsors here in Houston that offer classes, and we're going to be, attending everything. We're working with Jake Challen, of course, who's going to be coordinating some of this for us. In our own network, though, like Paul Markle, Student of the Gun, he has a whole DVD for this purpose. So I'm sure I'll be utilizing our own resources in-house to help.
Why wouldn't you? That's awesome.
Right. And referencing what we offer as a network, and then what you might want to do in your own area. But definitely, that's
know the laws.
Right. I'm going to rely on you guys, to help guide us in next steps and stuff. So we'll be talking all along the way about what we've done and what we might want to consider, and just chronicling all of that.
Very good.
And it won't be on Fat to Fit. It'll be referenced, I'm sure, but it will probably be on Gun Guy Radio as just some content that we can have for
We'll just
folks.
keep us posted on that, and we'll make sure we cross-reference so people can go and check that out.
Okay.
Carol, thank you so much for calling. Give your show a plug.
Oh, yes. Please, guys, come on over. You just don't know how much fun we're having over there. It's fun.
Yeah, they have a good time.
It is fun. It is fun. People think that we are this health show like other health shows that nag you and tell you, like I started with the carb talk. But it really is. We have different experts that have different views on different things that work for different people. And every other episode, it's me and Zach talking about what we've done and how we're trying to reach our goals and listeners. And then every other show is an interview with someone in the health and fitness arena. So it is educational, just like you guys. It's educational, but it's fun. And we'd love for you to come along. It's just a journey.
Very cool.
And
so
it's all just to
heads,
motivate.
check out Carol Salva at the Fat to Fit, and you can get through that through our Firearms Radio Network. You can get to it from our website, and then your website is, one more time?
fat2fithq.com, and you can also go to fat2fithq.com/YouTube and see a few videos we just put up. That's us.
Carol, thanks for calling in, and we'll be in touch with you soon.
Just more than a pleasure. Always, left hand. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, girl. Thanks for calling in. Thanks to Carol for calling in. Now we've got another call in, Miss Nicole McLean. Welcome in.
How are you?
Doing great.
Good. How's the weather where you are? Is it sunny or is it hot?
Well, we're in Tennessee, and it looks like our summer has finally hit us again. So we took a break and now it's like 90 with 90% humidity.
Yeah,
So,
that's how it was here too. It felt really chilly, and now it's heated up again.
yeah, which I'm not complaining. I like it. I can
Nope,
deal
just
with it.
means deer season's coming.
That's right. That's what we're going to be talking about today is the hunting season. Nicole is not only a hunter, but you are also a model, an actress, and dare I say activist?
Yes.
Would that
absolutely.
be a good label for you also? Because you have
Absolutely.
many causes that you are feel very strongly about and are behind. And we'll talk about some of that today as well. We've got a segment on the show where we talk about what we did this week in guns. So what did you do with guns this week, Nicole?
This week, actually, I didn't have a whole lot of involvement with guns this week except cleaning. I cleaned my Glock. I have a Glock 19 and just cleaned it up really because right now it's deer season for me, and
Yeah.
which it starts off with bow season. So this is all about pulling the bows out, making sure they're sighted in, crossbows, vertical compounds, all that kind of stuff. Getting new arrows. I got a lot of stuff from sponsors that was shipped in. So it's really been a bow, maybe a month.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and with some awesome
And a
news.
bow counts as a firearm.
It sure does.
Absolutely. So you're tuning in your bows, getting ready for the hunt.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. This is such awesome news. So Matthews shipped me a bow. Compliments of Matthews. So now I am shooting Matthews.
Yay, Matthews.
I know. Woo,
Tell us
yeah.
about it. Which one did they send you?
They sent me the Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
It's 28 inches, and they got it all set for me. I took it out this past weekend on Sunday and shot the heck out of it.
Cool.
And I love it. This thing is like the Cadillac of bows. When they say that, they're not kidding. This thing is smooth, it's sweet, it's lightweight. It's just, oh my gosh. I love my crossbow, and I love my other vertical. I have a Limb Saver Dead Zone, and that thing is pimp too. But this is like, I don't know. I'm just such a gear junkie. I couldn't have enough gear. I've got plenty of gear. If you could see my office, I mean, right now in my line of sight,
I can kind of see it.
in my line of sight, I have about 4 bows and probably 3 guns.
For our listeners, just to paint a picture, in the background, I'm looking at her wall, and it's very lodgy looking, for one. I see some antlers back there. I think I see a stuffed deer head.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. Maybe a fish.
I have all kinds of stuff. There's more horns up top, up there.
Yeah, nice.
So everything in here is very rustic. I have a cherry desk. Everything is like kind of dark and
So
woodsy.
you live it, breathe it, sleep it.
I wear it. I have my camo pants. So these pants I just got, they shipped these to me. They're from camotrading.com. They shipped me these camo pants.
Is that real tree camo?
It's mossy oak.
Mossy oak, okay.
And they shipped me shorts, capris, pajamas, a hoodie, and then I got bedding from Browning. So you go, oh yeah.
You just got everybody giving you stuff, girl.
This is like beyond the lifestyle, right? It's like a hunter's Christmas outside my door, the boxes that come in. I just got 2 more boxes today, and I'm like, ooh, what's in it? I'm so excited. I think there are broadheads and some arrows, and I think it's a new release that that is in those boxes. But I have a box here. I wish you guys could all see this, but
Hold it up, we'll describe it.
I got another box. So they just shipped this to me. This is like code blue. So I've got all kinds of deer scents. I've got Scent Away, so you spray this on to get rid of.
Oh my gosh, a big gallon of like scent there.
Human stuff. I've just got. Here.
She's got so much stuff she's having to put in her mouth. Both hands are full. She's putting it under her arm.
So all this stuff is from.
What's
Code
Gravedigger?
So Code Blue is underneath the EBSCO brand. They make like summit tree stands. They make feeders, all kinds of stuff. So I have what is this stuff?
You have
this
a plethora of items there.
Odor eliminator. I've got stuff that you connect to your boots that when you're walking in, you drag that in. I've got some shipments of magazines, some calendars. I have all kinds of stuff. So it really is. It's like a hunter's Christmas, and I am so
Every day is Christmas at the McLean household, huh?
I am so very blessed. God is making my life so wonderful right now. He really is. But what were we talking about? The bows. Oh, so I got this Matthews.
That's what you did this week in guns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or firearms.
Yeah, firearms. We'll go with that.
Yeah. Recategorize that. Good for you. So you're getting ready for the bow season.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that's
Can we
gonna
talk?
start
Can we tell people where you are, or just general location?
Yeah. Right now I'm in Ohio. So
Okay. Is that where you're gonna start your hunting, or are you gonna go out of state?
I'm gonna be right now. My plans are in Ohio, but I've got some other tentative plans. I was gonna try and make it out to Montana, and possibly maybe down to Texas. I have a couple things in the work, so we'll just see where they take me.
Working a hunt where you can.
Yeah, definitely in Ohio for sure. That's my main base. That's where I'm from. So I like to hunt in there. I've been down to West Virginia and Pennsylvania, out those ways a little bit, but Ohio is definitely main base.
For all your other gigs that you do, the modeling and the acting, and you've got another career too. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
So I do. I work in the healthcare. I manage. Well, a big part of what I do and what I'm an advocate for is healthcare. Health and wellness, medical innovations, and I do a lot of support for cancer awareness and cancer research. I'm a cancer survivor myself, so it's not just something I do. That, again, is a lifestyle for me, and I pretty much manage and help to push out the latest and greatest world-renowned medical information to consumers on a global level, educating them anywhere from cancer to Alzheimer's, arthritis, lupus. We do it in a way of infographics, posts of content, newsletters, everything you can think of, any way to push this stuff out and push it globally. And it really has a massive following. It's so that's
awesome. You're doing multifaceted of things that you love. So the hunting, the cancer awareness, the modeling, the acting, and you also are big into fitness.
Yeah, I'm a fitness freak. I am a fitness. Yeah, I was once
fanatic. Maybe not a freak.
Oh, you can go with freak.
Okay.
If you can't make fun of yourself, what are you going to do in life? So how are you going to get through? No, totally. I was called a genetic freak one time. I don't quite know what that meant. If that was a compliment or an insult.
That means you have good genes.
I guess it's a compliment. But absolutely. Yeah, I've always been kind of a gym rat. It's funny because when I was diagnosed with cancer, I had a couple surgeries, and they pretty much just said, "Hey, this is how you're going to look." And it was a bad time for me. I just said, I'm never going to be in shape. I'm never going to be able to do what I want to do. And I kind of gave up on it. And then one day I woke up and I said, "Yeah, right. I'm going to do this," and hit the gym and started seeing results. And it's like a drug. It was just awesome. Addicting. So
how long have you been cancer free?
Well, I still go through testing. I just actually, I haven't shared too much of this, but I just went through testing this past week to see how things are doing and kind of get a status update. But I have been, I was diagnosed with cancer, gosh, what is it now? Probably 14 years ago.
Wow.
I was diagnosed with not a good outlook at all. Limited time. Mm-hmm. And I was a teenager at the time. So, you get a diagnosis like that says, "Hey, you've got limited time."
And you haven't been on this earth that long to begin with.
No, I mean, you talk
a teenager.
That frame of mind at that point in my life was, I'm graduating high school. I'm going to go to college. I've got a scholarship. All these wonderful things I'm going to do. And then it's, hey, all that stuff, forget about it because you're not doing any of it. So,
but not you. Like you said, you had a rethink. You had to
I guess reassess my brain.
Reassessed, yeah. And you came out with a positive outlook on it. Would you attribute that to where you are today?
Oh, definitely.
So you got to have a positive mindset.
And I'll be honest with you, I did not. I was full of piss and vinegar when that happened. I became angry, and I didn't want anybody to know because it was embarrassing to me. I thought it was a failure. I'm extremely, extremely competitive and aggressive.
You? You couldn't tell.
I pretty much, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. You tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it twice. You tell me that I can't be, the best at it. Well, you know what? I'm going to do it to prove you wrong, even if I don't want to do it that bad, because
Amen.
I just believe you got to put your mind to it and not let anybody get in your way. And I'd always been that way. And cancer's different. Cancer comes to you and says, I'm going to kick your butt and there's nothing you can do about it. And you have to deal with it. And I didn't deal with that. I don't know what anybody else's experiences are with cancer. I mean, well, I shouldn't say I don't know, because I talk to a lot of people and work them through those situations and offer them advice and how to get through it. But I'll tell you, that experience, I went from a motivated person to my life is over and I'm pissed at God and I don't know what to do. And I'll tell you, it really, you talk about reassessing your brain and reorganizing, your mental state. I went from angry to having a couple surgeries. And then before my last surgery, I went into a sanctuary at the church and I told my mom, I said, before I go for this next surgery, this could be it for me. I just want to go in here and I need to have it out with God, toe to toe, head to head. Here we go. Went in there, had a conversation with him, told him straight up how I was angry, how I didn't understand this, how I didn't like it. I don't understand this kind of crap. Why are you giving this to me?
Right, as a teenager too. I mean,
yeah. And then all of a sudden, something just came over me and said, I accept whatever it is you're going to do. I'm going to die. I accept it. You let me live. I accept it. Whatever it is. And I walked out of that sanctuary with such a peace that my mom even told me she didn't recognize me. And I said, Mom, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And she goes, who the hell are you?
Who cloned you in the sanctuary, huh?
Right. Where's Nicole? We left her inside with Jesus in there because we left the anger girl in there and the peaceful one came back out. So
well, obviously your talk with God had a big impact and obviously redirected your life.
Sure did.
Refocused
every day.
And you are obviously a very focused and determined individual with all the irons that you have in the fire.
I try to be, but the most important thing and what I would tell anybody, I know people don't like to hear religious, quote, religious stuff, and they don't want to hear the Jesus talk.
Well,
so
you can do that on our show. Absolutely.
But all I would say is I make God's plan my plan, and I tell him every day.
Is that God calling? That's God. He's saying, hey, you go, girl.
He's like, you give him that talk. You give
That's
him
right, girl.
I'll call you. So if I could tell anybody anything, I would say, ask God for his plan and ask him to put you on his plan. Because what I've learned is when you go off the rails and you start doing the things that you want to do, not to say that you can't do that, but you need to constantly check in with God and say, hey, these are the things I want. Is this what you want me to be doing? And you need to keep asking that day in and day out, day in and day out, because if you're on his plan, stuff's still going to go wrong. Things are going to happen. This is life, right? It's a test. But if you've got him on your side, I mean, I'm just doing that so much in my life right now, and I can't tell you things are just going, and I just trust that they're where he wants me to be.
Well, there's no doubt that your philosophy is working. So
I hope so.
Hopefully this is going to reach out to thousands of our listeners and provide hope to not only them, but their family and friends as well. And I know it will.
I hope so. Cancer's a butt kicker, and I don't know why I'm still here. I'm here for some reason, so I'm just trying to make good on my talents and my time while I still have them.
That girl. So speaking of close calls, what's this story about the arrow coming within 5 feet?
Oh, God. Yeah.
I hear there's a good story here.
So God didn't kill me with cancer yet. Hopefully won't, but I swear the devil comes down and he's like, hey, we got to shake this girl up a little bit. So I'm out in the woods with a bunch of my friends, and I don't know where we were. I think we were in Pennsylvania. You think you'd remember all the places you almost died. I think it was Pennsylvania. We were out there staying at a cabin, and they're up on the deck of the second deck of the cabin, and they're doing some target practice with a Mackenzie down in the field, right? So I say I'm going to take a walk, which I'm smart enough to walk in the woods and note, the Latin long of where the Mackenzie target's at. We're good, right? So I take a walk around, go, I call, hey, I'm so far out, these guys can't hear me, see me. I can't even see the cabin at this point. So I circle back around. And, so the target's, at 10 degrees over here and I'm at 40. So I'm way in the clear, right? 40, 50 degrees. And I come around and all of a sudden I look and I look up and I go, oh crap, that's a deer. And all of a sudden you hear this whoosh. And then an arrow goes into that deer. And I look
right in front of your face, huh?
it happened so fast. It's me walking, and out of my peripheral vision, I look and I see a deer. Can't even like really stop to look at it, just notice it, and then swoosh, an arrow, and then I turn to look up at the house. And I see them, the trees are great for coverage and hunting, but apparently they're good at, covering me also when I'm about to die. So they pull back again, and I see that they're going to fire again. And they don't see me because they're blinded, from this tree. And so immediately I'm like, mud is better than blood. And I just hit the
dirt. Yeah.
I just like face down in the dirt. And they shot another arrow into that thing. And then all of a sudden I just started screaming. And they come down. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, what am I doing?
What am I doing?
Who moved the target?
It's all that camo you had on.
I wasn't even in camo. I wasn't even in camo. But good gravy.
You had your pretty pink on that day, didn't you?
I'll tell you. Yeah. I'll tell you, when that arrow goes flying, I'll never forget that sound. Never forget that
Hair
sound.
flying up.
Oh, my gosh. Literally, we're talking 5 feet. 5 feet from me.
Wow. So did they hit the target?
Oh, yeah. They hit the target.
Did you know these guys?
Oh, yeah. I went with them. I was there with them.
Oh, okay. So that was your group.
Oh, yeah. My own group trying to... Maybe I should change that story and say, no, I had no idea who these people were.
Yeah.
Better than people I did know, right?
Well, that makes it better because they probably knew you were there. Like, hey, watch this.
Yeah.
The famous last words. Hey, watch this.
Do you hear somebody screaming? I don't. Nope. Keep shooting.
No, I don't see Nicole.
Oh man, yeah. So that was. I didn't die that day either.
So we've got, and we didn't ask these to you on the first time you were on because you were just a little quick abbreviated. But we've got 5 questions that we ask every guest that we have on the show.
Okay.
First one is, what was your first firearm?
My first firearm, I had, gosh, what did I have? I think it was 22.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't actually, I guess it was kind of mine. Do you count it if it's like handed down to you? I guess that's
sure.
yours. But you don't actually
took possession. You went out, shot it, and killed something with it.
Took possession and ran with it and never went back. It's mine.
So what would be, without a shadow of a doubt, what's the first gun you've owned?
I had a shotgun, a 12 gauge. That was the first one. Bought it inspired by hunting season. And then after that, I got a Traditions muzzle loader, which I still have. Don't get to use that as much, though. I have used it a couple times, but mostly I'm using my tags during bow season. So when gun season comes around, I've usually already cleaned house on my tags. All right, unless they go out of state somewhere.
Let me back this up, because I just screwed that whole question up. It's how did you get involved with firearms? Not what was your first firearm?
How did I get involved with firearms?
Yeah, like did your dad or your brothers or granddad, something like that.
I'm kind of an anomaly. At least that's what they say. So my dad, my brothers, I have 2 older brothers. They don't hunt. They don't shoot guns. My one brother used to box. So you meet him in an alley or in a bar, look out. Don't do anything wrong to offset him because he can take you out like a UFC guy 10 seconds flat.
You wouldn't have anything to do with your last name, right? McLean. Is that Irish?
It's Irish.
Louis Irish, Charlevy.
Yeah. I get told a lot that I don't look Irish though, so that's a fun prank to play on people if I'm guessing my nationality. Irish is definitely the last thing they guess. But yeah, so my brother, they're both tough guys, not weak or pansies by any means, but they don't shoot. My other brother likes to fish. He's really good at that. They're not into guns, but my dad. Now I come from a military family. Mm-hmm. And I have my dad was at Vietnam. He enlisted. He did. He definitely did his time over there in the infantry, fighting on the front lines. And so he's into guns. Not so much anymore. I think Vietnam really just opened his eyes, maybe changed his perspective about things. He's got his own strong opinions about the government and how the military should work.
Don't we
all? But I guess maybe I got a little bit from him about that.
Sure. And thank him for his service to our country.
I will.
From us, seriously.
Yeah, he's got some interesting stories. Man, that's a guy that you should talk to, is my father. He has definitely got some stories about Vietnam. He's opening up more now so than he ever did before.
Absolutely. We'd love, if he's comfortable with that, we would love to have him on the show.
He has got some stories, and, he's the tough Vietnam vet, but he's just that very, I don't know how to describe him. I have so much respect for my father, and I love him with everything I have, both of my parents. But he's just such an interesting character and has such a history, and the whole idea of, everything he's done in Vietnam. The stories he tells me, right? So he's telling me that they used to clean the bore of his gun with this, I don't even know if they make this anymore, but it's called beach gum.
Beach gum, okay.
Beach gum. Yeah. And it came with foil wrappers around the gum.
Yeah, so it's chewing gum. Yeah,
they used to take the foil wrappers, and that's what they would clean the bore of their gun with. That was their...
That's what they had, yeah.
That's what they had. And I said, Dad, you didn't have any, issued cleaning kit or whatever? And he goes, not when you're out in the middle of nowhere like that. He's like, no, you carry limited stuff. You're out there in the brush. You're using foil wrappers from your gun.
Yeah.
He'll tell me things like, putting a condom on the end of their gun and rubber banding it or tying whoever they want, because when it rains, it keeps the water out of there. And he's like, and you can shoot through them still. So it's just like...
We also got to keep in mind that those M16s weren't like they are today. It's kind of their acclamation was that war. They were introduced during that war, and they had a lot of problems with them.
They did, and M16 was their standard issue. They had a shotgun. He had a 12-gauge shotgun, and he had a 45 caliber pistol too. But that M16 was their standard issue. Now he also picked up an AK-47. That stuff wasn't issued then, and he found it.
Kind of laying around, yeah.
Yeah, you find things over there and you pick them up.
Charlie dropped one.
Of course, they, when you come back from your tour, and he ended up in Alaska, he had all that stuff with him, and they empty their bags, and the government collects all that stuff.
Yeah.
But even pictures, he came back with pictures from Vietnam, and they took those as well.
Took his pictures?
They took his pictures, man. They
took
everything when he came back that first time.
Did they ever give it back?
No.
He never got it back.
No. So when you learn tricks of the trade as you go through life. Yeah. And so he learned ways to get stuff back, and when he actually finished his tour and came back, there were some 4,000 guys checking in, and he was at Fort Bragg, and they had so many guys coming in, they didn't know what they were bringing, what they weren't bringing, so he was able to bring some stuff back, and I have pictures, and he's definitely somebody to talk to. He's just, the stories are amazing.
Yeah, we'd love to have him on the show. Question number 2, and you kind of got into it a little bit there. Do you have any military or law enforcement background?
Just my family's military. I myself personally do not have any military or law enforcement. I did think about becoming a police officer at one point, and I did take the test. I scored really well. But you know how those things work. I scored 11. There was 200 some people who took all the tests. I ranked 11, and they're hiring 2 officers. So, by the time they would get to me, it probably wouldn't happen. And I had another opportunity, so I took the other opportunity. But that stuff, I think it's just in my blood. I was either a cop or some sort of military in a former life, maybe.
You never know, there's still time. But no, I think you chose the right path. Yeah.
I was talking with somebody about becoming an agent, and they said, you have until the age of 39. And I said, ooh, don't tell me that.
Well, now, wait a minute. Being an actress, and weren't you in a movie that was law enforcement based?
There was one which depicted the what happened in Benghazi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, wait. I think you're thinking of Active Shooter.
Active Shooter. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, so that one was filmed at a university, and it was to kind of it was basically reenacting things that happened with active shooters, how they would come into the university. You've got these 2 guys running on campus. The squad cars are coming in, trying to locate this guy. And unfortunately lives are taken, whether it's teachers or students. And we were officers. We were part of the SWAT team that came in, and we're busting through the university, and I got to take out one of the guys, which was pretty cool. But what's funny is on that set, this is so crazy. So get this. Well, we're on the set and we're filming for an active shooter who's running around in this crazy gear, doing these bad things. Apparently the university, now we have the university obviously involved in this, right? And
hopefully, yeah. Hopefully they're aware.
So they're there, and all of a sudden they stop production and say, hey, we got to stop. There's some crazy person on campus.
So there really was one? Or was that you guys that caused the alarm?
It was not us. Not us. There was some guy in a black trench coat and some wacko mask. And he was running around campus doing some sort of prank, I guess. He wasn't armed, and I think he was literally just playing a prank. But it so happens that I'm thinking, how dumb are you, dude?
Probably some fraternity jackwagon.
We've got like SWAT trucks. We've got weapons. We've got all kinds of stuff. And you decide to run through campus and play a prank wearing a trench coat and some funny mask, and you think nobody's going to notice right away? I mean, like, you got the guys right there, dude.
There's no accounting for some people's sensibility.
It was just ironic, this is what we're doing, and then some guy...
He was probably aware that all that was going on, and he did it for attention.
Maybe he did it.
So I hope they caught him, right? Did they catch him?
Oh, yeah. They caught him. But they're like, there's some guy loose on campus. We're like,
so
yeah,
talk
we know.
about the other one that you started to tell me about, the Benghazi one.
The one, so we went out, this was in San Diego, and we did a film. It was like a trailer or a pilot for an episode with this company called History Vision, and it was to reenact everything that happened in Benghazi. I have the trailer for it. The trailer's frickin' sweet. So we had a Kickstarter campaign to raise money. Unfortunately, the Kickstarter campaign didn't pay enough money, so we weren't able to go to full production and turn it into stuff. But that crew is working on some other projects, so you might see something, in the future. But cool. I'll have to get that trailer and put it on Facebook because it's pretty.
So it's they're gonna try to actually portray what happened, the real.
Exactly. I mean, exactly what happened.
Cool.
Yeah,
that definitely needs to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Did you restart your Kickstarter for that?
No, Kickstarter is kind of funny. It's you can have a small campaign on there for $10,000 and not meet it, and then we just had a friend of ours who had like a $250,000 Kickstarter campaign for a video game, and it took off, and he got more than he asked for.
Oh wow!
So I mean,
Any given Sunday, yeah.
There's a magic science to it. Kind of when and how much you ask for and what you're doing and how it's promoted and so forth. So it's a learning curve, and I think we've learned a lot.
Well, we might be able to get some tips from you then, because we've started one for ourselves. We're trying to get a TV pilot going.
Oh, okay.
For our show. So yeah, we'll talk off air on that.
Okay, very cool.
Question number 3, in the realm of pop culture, what is your go-to, whether it be a movie, a song, a game, your go-to firearm-related pop culture?
Okay, so I'm going to get real dorky.
Okay, we like that here.
Maybe it's not dorky. Maybe it's just out of touch. So I don't really watch TV. I don't watch TV. I'm not the typical girl that's like, oh, it's Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I have to watch my show. I don't do that. That's not me.
Walking Dead.
No, I'm like laying in bed, reading my hunting magazine, my gun digest, my Living Ready magazine.
Okay. And it can be magazines too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that counts.
So I'm more into that, or I will be studying like crossbow stats or like gun stats or something rather than watching a show or anything like that. You know what? I do have this book though from when I was a kid. So my second grade teacher read me this book, and I don't know if it's like, future telling because it was only second grade, but it's about a lion who it's called, she pronounced it Lofcato. I don't know if that's really how you say it. But I think it's like Lofcadio. It's a Shel Silverstein book. Okay. And it's called Lofcato, the Lion Who Shot Back. And
I've not heard of that one.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome. I wish I love this book. I keep it on my shelf in my office. But
she's retrieving the book.
Yes.
There it is.
This is the book that at least you can see.
Lafcadio, The Lion Who Shot Back.
Yeah, and it's by Shel Silverstein. So this is like an epic little kid's novel that I have hung on to for years and years. But it's about this lion who's in the woods, and this guy goes out to the woods to hunt him, and the lion's like, what the hell are you doing? You're not going to shoot me. And pretty much like wants to eat the guy's gun and destroy him. So this guy takes him to the city and says, hey, we're going to make you, into like a city lion. So he puts him in a suit. He cuts his hair. And it's all about this lion who, is like, he just completely flips his environment. And, there's goofy things in here.
You take the lion out of the jungle, but you can't take the jungle out of the lion.
He I don't know. It's just a goofy, but it's.
So does he end up eating people in the city, or what happens?
No, he just growls and threatens their life every time they don't do something that he wants. So when he wants a marshmallow suit, and the tailor's like,
suit.
yeah, he wants like
a marshmallow suit.
they're dressing him up. He's a city lion. He's got to have clothes.
Gotta have a marshmallow suit.
And he's like, I don't want a suit. He's like, I want a marshmallow suit. And the guy doesn't want to make it because he obviously doesn't know how, right? How many of those has he made? And so he just like growls at the guy and threatens his life, and then he gets a marshmallow suit. So anyways, he's this
Apparently
lion.
He hasn't watched Ghostbusters.
Right.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow. Yeah.
Right. But it's all about this lion who is like, he's in, he's in Africa or wherever he is, and he picks up this gun and he becomes this sharpshooter, and he starts like trying to take out hunters because that's like his thing. And this guy finds him and says, "Hey, you'd be great in the city. You could join the circus."
Oh my gosh!
Maybe it's a metaphor for my life. I don't know.
That's a great book. That's a first. I like that.
So that's mine.
All right, guys, check that book out. Okay, so question number 4. Is there or has there ever been a gun or firearm weapon that you are ashamed of owning or to admit to have owned?
No.
Any small part of you?
No.
Nothing. Okay.
I take pride in all the stuff that I have, and I love all of my gear, whether it's something that's been handed down to me, if my dad has something and he's given it to me, or it's stuff that I've purchased. I guess when I buy something, it's something that I really, really want. So I don't really have anything like that, I guess. No, I'd have to say no. What do people normally say? Do they?
Well, a lot of them say no. Yeah. They have the answer that you have. And I answered it the same way. I was like, I don't buy crappy stuff. I buy stuff I like and I want. But some people have been, like you said, like either hand-me-down or they were given, or something like that. And, we've gotten Lorisons, we've gotten, High Points, things like that.
Yeah, I think pretty much everything I have, I just feel blessed and grateful to have it. And that's whether it's, rifles, shotguns, muzzleloaders, crossbows, anything my dad's given me from Vietnam. I have his actual compass from Vietnam.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I just got... Where is it?
You got it handy.
I do, or I did. Where did I put that? I normally keep it on my desk.
She's searching around all her
this
skulls and antlers and
so how ironic
animals.
Is this? I can't find a compass. Yeah.
That's ironic.
I don't know where. Here it is. So this is it. I mean, this is like the size of the palm of my hand. Can you see this?
Oh yeah.
It's unfortunate that people can't see it, but this is actually what he used
last
in
forever.
Vietnam.
That's awesome.
And it still works.
Of course.
So anything like that, you actually like look through.
You ever take that with you?
No, it's like a prized possession. I have tons of stuff that he even brought back an MRE.
You still have that?
No, we ate it.
I hope soon after he brought it back, you ate it.
No.
Like years later?
He was in Vietnam like 66, 67, 68, and I think this is probably in the 80s that we ate it.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was, are you kidding? Yeah, it was like...
What was it?
It was ham.
Oh
maybe that's why I got cancer.
No. Well, yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't joke, but seriously.
Thinking about it,
Yeah,
that crap they gave them back then, yeah.
Probably 20 years later, and it was ham, and I think there was like crackers and jelly, and there was something.
And you ate the whole thing, or did you just kind of like? Ew.
Oh no, we ate it. We ate. Yeah, we ate it.
The whole thing.
Yeah, it was a meal.
So ham and jelly and
crackers, and there was something to drink. It was like a powder that you mix with water.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
And I can't remember what else, but the ham stands out because you open this package and it's just like flat slice of ham that's like a half-inch thick. And he's like,
free. Was it vacuum sealed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so here's my dad at the table telling his like 8-year-old daughter, he's like, this is good stuff. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, maybe in 1970, if we'd have eaten it in 70.
Maybe when you're hanging out with a Viet Cong, it's good.
Yeah. When you got to resort to eating tree bark, yeah, this is a better alternative.
So, yeah.
So that's a memorable experience.
It is. I have a lot with my parents.
All right, so question 5 is kind of the opposite of number 4. What is next on your list, kind of your bucket list, your next gun you're going to get or firearm or something like that that's at the top of your list?
Next gun on my list. I I was reading about this SIG makes it. It's a SIG P938.
Uh-huh.
And then my conceal carry is the Glock 19, and I love that. You can put a holster right in the steering column of the truck or the car and have it sit right under there, and that's nice. Or in a holster, or take it to the range. That's all fine. But I'm a runner, and I like to be outdoors, and it's not really something that's easy to carry.
Yeah, not a 19 when you're running.
No, it's not at all. And I've tried it. Believe me, I was that desperate. But this SIG, this P938,
is that a 9mm?
Yeah, it's a 9mm.
I think I've seen those. Yeah, they're pretty.
Have you?
Pretty compact. Yeah, that would be a perfect little.
So they're less.
gun.
They're less than like 6 inches in length. I think it's like 5.9 inches in length, and the height is like 3.9 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really easy to disassemble. It breaks down into like 6 parts. It gives you an extra round over the normal 6-round capacity, and you can fit 3 fingers on the grip instead of just 2.
Right.
It comes with the Hogue.
And they're like inexpensive too. They're like less than $500.
Right? I haven't seen them that cheap. I think like retail on them is like $900, but I think if you shop around, I've seen them around $700.
I might be getting confused with another one, but SIG has another one that's very similar to that, and it comes with standard with night sights and a laser also.
Yeah, this one comes standard with night sights. I wonder if that's the same exact one.
So we were talking about the SIG P938.
Yeah, that's it. It's not a target pistol. So when they did range testing with it and they fired, I think it was like the first 25 rounds, they all grouped just to like the left side. So, but it's accurate within like 0 to 45 feet. So that's kind of what you need for self-defense. If somebody's getting pretty close to you. So it beats out the other ones that I looked at and compared to the height, weight,
for the
and
size,
the width. So I don't know. I'm kind of in love with that one right now, I think.
Cool. All right, so we do this segment each week. It's called the Jack Wagon of the Week. Gunny, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the talking lead Jack Wagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, so, Nicole, do you have a Jack Wagon of the Week? And are you familiar with the concept, our premise of the Jack Wagon of the Week?
The Jack Wagon is like the wacko people out in the world that you encounter. Is that right? Or something like you hear about a weirdo?
Yeah, just somebody that, and it typically we try to keep it firearms related, but it doesn't have to be, but just somebody who's done something stupid in the world, and typically in the world of firearms.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I have one for the week.
So mine is Syria.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess you could definitely pick that. There's definitely some things going on.
Pretty much everybody knows what's going on over in Syria right now, where they have unleashed chemical weapons. Well, supposedly. I don't know that we've proven it yet.
Supposedly, sure.
But everything that we were reading and seeing is that without a shadow of a doubt that it was their government that did it, and they're jackwagons.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
We're, I don't know, we've got, 5 battleships on ready over there right now, and its tensions are building, so who knows what's going to happen there.
I don't know where we're going. I was just talking to my dad today, actually, and he said, we're shipping troops over there, and our government wants them to do 2, 3, 4 tours, and he's like, these guys, it's just so rough on them. And war is never good, and war has always been bad. And I will never say that one war is worse than another, because it's a different type of war depending which one you're in. And
war is bad, period.
War is bad. But I just look at how things are today and the type of wars that we have and how they're fought. And these guys are doing, 2, 3, 4 tours. And I just don't know how they're doing it. I don't know where the world is going. I don't know where the world is going and what's going to happen. So I guess we'll just see how it goes. I've got strong opinions on that. I'm sure you probably don't want to hear about, but
well, we do. We try to keep it apolitical here, but occasionally we get on a rant, and when somebody like this makes news, Syria, they've got to be talked about and brought to people's attention. It's ridiculous.
It is. I completely agree.
But one thing's for certain is gas prices are going to go up.
Oh, they already did. So where I'm at, I just got gas in my truck the other day, and it had dropped down to like $3.39. Mm-hmm. Usually when it starts to trend down, I know I've got a couple days and it'll go down a little bit. This morning I go out there, it's like $3.80. Yeah. Overnight. $3.80. It just went up 50 cents. Yeah.
Anyway. All right, so that's our Jack Wagon of the Week. Now let's talk about Or fact to fight the myth?
I'm gonna suck at this.
One that I was going to do today had to do with scent. Like you were showing all those products that you got. No matter how much of that you use, the sprays, the gums, the body soaps, you're still going to emit a human odor. No matter what, because you got to breathe. And when you breathe in and you breathe out, you sweat. And when you start sweating, you start emitting human odor. You're going to break wind. You're going to fart. Yeah,
Girls don't fart. Girls don't fart.
Yeah, well, guys do. Guys fart. And, it's just part of being out in the woods. Something about nature just makes you want to fart. Just relaxes the whole...
You could have a whole segment on that.
On farting, yeah, exactly. So that's going to be my fact to fight the myth.
So which are you? You're taking the farting and scent one?
That's the one I was going to do, yeah.
Okay.
What about, or just a fact? Maybe you just got a fact. Or tip. How about a tip?
Salt out. There are people that put salt out in the fall, and the best time to put salt out, from what I've experienced, is in the spring, because that's when the deer are coming out, because they need those minerals in the spring. And in the fall, you should be putting out things like corn. There's these black oil sunflower seeds that the deer really like. You can put those out there. Mm-hmm. But I see salt blocks out all the time, and what I've learned is that they work best in the springtime.
So Nicole, let's talk to us more about the importance of the scent, and maybe from a woman's perspective.
I'm a firm believer in scent. I'm crazy about my scent stuff, like how I wash it and where it goes afterwards. I know some guys, some other hunters, that they won't shower for 3 days and they'll still go out in the woods and they'll hunt and they don't have a problem with that. And they're like, hey, the scent doesn't matter. I'm still going to kill something. And it works fine for them. I don't know if these guys just don't have glands, or they don't drink water, or they don't sweat. I don't know. But they say it works for them. And, who am I to judge? If you're actually taking down deer and you don't shower, then God bless you. You know what?
Yeah.
Get your venison. But for me, scent is really important. So I've got a whole system of washing my stuff. So when I put it in the washer, my dream actually is to have a completely different set of washer and dryer just for my hunting stuff. But what I do is, so I'll run a load. So they have
detergent. Good idea, actually. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
They have detergent that you can use to take the scent out of your clothes. So what I do is I fill up the washer with no clothing in it, dump in the scent-free detergent that has the carbon in it. Put that in the washer, just the detergent and the water, run a whole cycle, like a full cycle, empty out the washer. Then I put my stuff in the washer with the laundry detergent again, because I'm getting out all that stuff. And I've been known to do that twice in my washer before actually putting in my hunting clothes. Mm-hmm. So I drop my hunting clothes in, and I've got dryer sheets to dry them. Put them in the dryer sheet, same exact thing. The last 2 loads of clothes that I wash with the hunting detergent and then do a clean cycle. And in the dryer, I'll dry them with the hunting dryer sheets. Take my stuff out, immediately out of the dryer, put it in a scent-free bag, lock it up, carry the bag outside, and I've got this hillbilly-looking friggin' fence line or clothing line, and I pin up all my gear, and it hangs out there overnight. Cool. And you don't have to buy any of these fancy kits to put your stuff in. I've got a hunting shed where I keep all my stuff, and I don't bring any of that inside at all. But, I'll hang my clothes outside, and then if you just get a giant Tupperware bin or, some tactical container, mm-hmm. you can just throw leaves and grass and some scent wafers in there, dirt. I throw all kinds of stuff in there just from nature, and then throw my clothes in there and close it up, throw it in the back of my truck. And, I've got the whole shampoo that you use and the scent-free soap and all that. I'm a big person for scent, because I think when I first started, I wasn't seeing much. Mm-hmm. And I think it was because I had too much girly stuff, like perfume and, they could smell my
hair
conditioner.
Product, yeah.
Yeah, all
lipstick.
that. So,
I mean, even lipstick has a scent.
It does. But I think some of that stuff is kind of, I take my clothing I go overkill with my clothing and washing and everything. But I don't get, and I'll wear the right deodorant, but I don't get all crazy. If if there's a shoot or something that we're doing, I'll wear lipstick on the shoot, or who cares, whatever. But
gotta look good. Come on.
Yeah. in some projects and places, it's part of the job.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I go overkill with the other stuff for scent. So
cool. That's a good tip. All right. So our trivia from last week was related to, I gotta think who was on the show last week.
Bill Cosby.
Yes, Bill Cosby was on the show last week. Love my Jell-O pudding pop.
He's just going to say that.
Our trivia from last week was related to our guest, Reed Hendricks, and it was a video that Reed had, and we asked what was Reed's favorite ice cream. And we had several listeners that came in with the right answer. The first person that came in with the right answer was Standby.
That's his first name, Standby?
Standby. Yeah. Stanby.
That's what I'm going to name my kid, Standby. Middle name Over. Standby Over, McLean. Get over here.
Here we go. All right. And the winner is Mark A. Mark answered chocolate ice cream, and that is the correct answer. So, Mark, congratulations. You are going to win one of Rob Pincus's videos. We're going to send that to you. So shoot us a private message, either email or Facebook, with your address, and we will get that to you.
Very cool. What's your favorite ice cream?
Vanilla.
What's it?
Yeah.
Vanilla bean or vanilla?
French vanilla. I like it creamy. What's yours?
I like the yogurt. I like cheesecake yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
Or key lime yogurt.
Key lime? Okay. You
like the frozen yogurt? Oh, it's just so good. I always get cheesecake.
Something with a little bite to it?
Anything that's cheesecake or key lime, I like. That's where I spend my diet points. So I'll eat clean for like a long time, and every time I want to eat bad, I say, look, you eat this crap right now, you can't have cheesecake sometime. Like 2 weeks from now, when you go somewhere like Cheesecake Factory, you can't get cheesecake.
So that's your reward, right?
Right.
All right, so our trivia question for this week is going to relate to Nicole. Nicole, tell us what the trivia question is going to be.
What is the full official name of my dog?
There you go, and they can find that on your Facebook page.
On my Facebook page, which is Nicole McLean, model, actress, deer hunter, and he is on there. So
there you go. So full name of Nicole's big sweetie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good deal.
We'll tell you what, whoever gets that name right and gets back what we'll do is I will send them a copy of my Deer and Deer Hunting magazine. So I was featured in the fall issue for their I'm a Deer Hunter, where they take people who normally, when you look at them, you would never guess that they're a deer hunter. And they feature them in this slot in the magazine. So I was featured in the fall issue. There's also an online section. I was on there on an episode of Deer Talk Now, and I can ship them a copy of the magazine, and I will also ship them this hot item. So it's the rut prediction calendar for 2013.
Awesome.
So I've got a couple copies of those for when I go do some signings, and I'd be happy to ship out one of those to somebody who knows my doggy's full name.
There you go, guys. So she just upped the ante on that. So that's cool. All right. So, Nicole, tell us a little bit about what you've got coming up in the hunting world and the model world and the actress world.
Right now is a really busy time for me because I'm a big advocate for breast cancer awareness and cancer awareness in general. And October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so I'm going to be working on some projects with hopefully a large gun manufacturer. I can't name names just yet, still all under wraps. But also a Pink Arrow project. I've done work with Pink Arrow before, and they donate their proceeds to breast cancer research. So I'll be doing some work with Pink Arrow project. And I'm also going to be launching a blog here with another name that I'm sure everybody will know. And we're going to be working on producing some hunting, kind of like a hunting blog. I'm going to be doing product reviews of whether it's about scents or it's about a crossbow or it's about a compound bow. Like I mentioned earlier, Matthews just shipped me a new vertical compound bow. They shipped me the Jewel, new for 2014.
Right.
Shot that thing that thing is so cool. I can't wait to get out of it. I'm just fiending. So we'll be doing some reviews for that. I've got a lot of scent stuff to review, trail cams, feeders. So it'll be a lot
on your plate. Yeah,
a lot of product reviews that'll probably be published weekly. We'll be doing it'll have videos and content for it as well. So that's coming up.
Is there a website, or is all this on your Facebook page where our listeners can go and see what's going on with Nicole?
You can go to NicoleMcLean.com, or best place probably to reach out to me on my Facebook page, which is Nicole McLean, a model, actress, deer hunter. You can shoot me an email, which is nicole@NicoleMcLean.com. I get a lot of inquiries about cancer, hunting, gear, even fitness stuff, like what supplements I take and what I do for a workout. So feel free to send those my way.
You'd be a good fit for another show that we have on our Firearms Radio Network. It's called Fat to Fit.
I'm going to be on that.
Carol Salva.
Yeah, I've actually talked to Carol.
Oh, my gosh, you would be awesome for that show.
Yeah, I think she has a tie to cancer as well. So her and I are of the same tree. So I'm going to be on her show, too. I haven't set a date yet, but that's coming up to talk about fitness and cancer and everything in that arena. So that'll be also trying to think. In the next issue of Deer and Deer Hunting, there will be a feature in there with Shemaine Nugent. There will be a recap in that magazine. And I'm working on a lot of other stuff, a lot of hot irons in the fire. But like I said, I live my plan according to what God wants. So if they happen, great. And if they don't, then God didn't want it for me. So
that's right. Well, the more you plan, the more you can achieve.
That's a good philosophy.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Nicole, we greatly appreciate you being on the show today. You're awesome. Everything that you're doing, your charities that you back, and just your enthusiasm for the gun and firearm industry in and of itself is just beyond belief. The energy and exuberance that you bring to it, and we're glad that you're with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's like I always say, it's a lifestyle. It's not a passing fad. It's not something to catch on to and say, oh, this is cool. No, this is a lifestyle. It's ingrained in me. It's in my blood. I think it's genetics. I mean, it is what it is.
So I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors one more time. Our bandwidth sponsor, the Firearms Radio Network. Thank you, guys. Our sponsor, ICE Training. That's ICEtraining.us. Integrity, consistency, and efficiency. US Elite Gear at us-elitegear.com. Operate, accelerate, and achieve. Our buddies at Ergo Grip, Next Level Training, All or Nothing Tattoo. Go to allornothingtattoo.com. Our sponsors, HG Press, Holder and Green Professional Real Estate Services. HG Press, 1-800-615-1840, extension 2222. And Nicole, thank you again so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Guys, keep your firearms close. Nope, that's my line. That's why I said that. And as always, keep your loved ones close.
And keep your firearms closer.